Okay, so cool, Shawn. Let's move then to the escrow service. That means like today, if I have a new supplier or for some reason we're having a big deal, like let's say we're paying for like a big amount, say of some type of product, let's say 100,000 units. Each unit costs us, let's say $5. It's a $500,000 transaction. For some people, it's like, day to day and they're like just waking up, they're clicking on a button. But for me, that would be quite a big transaction. And I would be like, okay, I want to make sure that whatever they're promising, those 100,000 units are going to be exactly as they have promised them to be. And yeah, like, and they want to know, like, hey, who the hell is this guy? Like, can he really pay me the 500,000? So both of us would appreciate a kind of escrow service that you can provide. How does it work then?
Before we jump into our WorldTrade escrow product, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Let's look back
mm-hmm,
the old-fashioned method for this kind of trade guarantee, right? What
mm-hmm,
tools do we have? Typically,
mm-hmm,
we will have access into letter of credit, right? I don't know how much do you know about the LCs, right? Letter of credit is like a typical banking offerings, right, for global traders, but this is documentation heavy service and quite costly. You have to have certain amount of deposit into your own bank account in order to make the bank to issue this letter of credit to your suppliers, right? But again, the process could be very tedious. You have to navigate or being a master of the UCP 500, UCP 600. This is something totally right, totally new for the e-commerce sellers, especially new sellers to navigate. Things could end up very costly and very tricky, right? For supplier side as well, they have to follow very strict formalities, right, in a very long lead time in order them to fulfill or submit the trade documentations into the bank. And bank takes a long time to review and release the fund after they feel everything is in place, right?
mm-hmm.
That's the old-fashioned something
Sounds
happened over the
complicated a
decade.
little bit.
It's a
Okay.
complicated, yeah. Basically, it's using between the large traders, importers and exporters,
Mm-hmm.
provided the safeguard for the trade from the banking perspective, right? But we take it digitalized, more inclusive, right? So simply saying, those of you have a WorldFirst account,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're going to have the first deal. You are able to activate by clicking a few steps to activate, to call out escrow functions, input the details of your transactions. The transactions are about the trade, but you're purchasing some products from China, for example,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're able to input the basic information like product description, quantity, packaging, units, unit price, total price, currency as well, right? The essential details of the purchasing contract between you and supplier.
Mm-hmm.
Because talking about smaller SMEs, the trading documentation or agreement could be very unstandardized, right? But we provide a portal, we provide a gateway for you to standardize every itemized details, right? To make things clear between you and supplier side. So suppliers will receive this order from a WorldTrade system to have a clear picture about the fulfillment details, right? How
Mm-hmm.
many products, quantities, or you can also specialize the quality requirements,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Receiving, accepting requirements
Yes.
in the WorldTrade portal, right? To drop it into your supplier's account. Once they receive it, they have to fulfill according to the itemized requirements you have, right? And they are obliged to submit their trading documentation, shipping documentation, like bill of ladings, right, airway bill, alongside the packing list, alongside the commercial invoice in one place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And back into you to review, right?
Mm.
Whether this is something you are expecting, whether something goes wrong or not, right? Whether you are comfortable to click the button for us to relieve the fund, to release the fund into the supplier's account. Again, this is cutting the lead time in
Mm.
interchanging
Mm-hmm.
documentation, right? And remove the paperwork, remove the carbon emission as well, right? Lead time dramatically being cut down, right? You'll be able to make an instant confirmation over the line and drop the payment into your supply, right? They can also have a peace of mind because WorldFirst is in middle to guarantee they can receive the payment in full as long as they can deliver what they promised.
So then at which point the transaction is being made? Like when we both have read like the conversion invoices, all these bills of lading, everything, we're like as a seller, we have like, okay, so that's what they're promising, the supplier, okay, perfect. And then the supplier, what do they see from our side as the seller? They see
the confirmation. They see the confirmation, a notice, right? Drop into their notification in the WorldFirst portal to advising them that the fund has been released into their account. So their balance, their WorldFirst balance, just top up from you.
And then for that, we pay a fee, I guess, for that like comfort and for that service, right?
Yeah. We have the process fee to facilitate the whole process and provide you the tools.
So that's a set fee for different types of, I would say, probably size of transactions and different currencies. Probably there's different
based on the value of transaction. Again, it's percentage based.
And then I'm curious, Shawn, does it go down in time of transaction? So let's say we paid, as in that previous scenario. Again, we're not gonna go into specific amount of fees, but let's say transaction was what was it, like 100,000 units. Each unit is $5 for production, so that's $500,000. Let's say for that transaction, we have paid that money. The supplier receives the full money. Who pays this percentage? Like both parties?
I know. I know what you're asking about. We provide maximize flexibilities between you and suppliers. Either your side can choose who is the party to bear these processing fees, right? It is actually mirroring the practice of a letter of credit offline, right? And in the letter of credit or in the escrow, there will be a clear terms telling suppliers or buyers who is bearing this part of fee.
So let's say for that, if we want the clear 500,000 to land in their account based on the fees that WorldFirst will tell us we have to pay, and then we will speak with the supplier and say, okay, so these are the fees that we're up to pay. Want to share it, or shall we take it, or do you take it? It's in our negotiation phase, I would say, right? We would decide that.
You can decide it before you log everything into a portal, right? And it's for you and supply to set up this, because escrow could be initiated from the suppliers, or reversely, it could be initiated by the buyers. Highly depends on which party need this extra safeguarding of the trade.
Pretty cool, man. I think that can, as you mentioned, also I liked when you said the lead time, because let's say we need to get those units. Let's say we're having good sales, right? Suddenly we need a bigger order. Okay. And this is an order that us as a seller or even them as a supplier, they're like, okay, these guys seem to be legit and they're doing business. Maybe we did even a few transactions previously, but that's a big one. That's like maybe 10 times the previous transaction, and they need it now. And we need it now because we don't want to go out of stock to lose our momentum. So we need quick solutions. That sounds like a quick solution.
It's a quick solution and building the trust, and even driving your supplier to make their fulfillment, make their delivery faster, right? Because with the escrow service, with a WorldTrade notification being set up, it's telling your supplier, right, the payment is ready for you, standing by for you, as long as you can deliver, right? As long as you can fulfill this contract as quick as you can, right? We are ready to click the button for you, right? It's a strong signal, right? Showing the trust between both sides.
I'm curious, Shawn, what happens if we can speak about that? If, for example, we've done that agreement, and then the product that we get, let's say we are sending like an inspection service to inspect those units, and we see like they have in the contract it says like they can have up to like 3% units that are, let's say, have like minor problem to them. Sometimes they have that, right, in those contracts, right? So and then after the inspection, it's not 3% that we agreed on or whatever. I'm just throwing in numbers, right? But let's say it's 6%.
Over the tolerance.
Yeah, something is wrong in the results based on what the supplier is delivering, let's say. How then do you think it would escalate towards a fair like escalation? So it can be.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the product, right? Because until you and supplier reach alignment about the
Ah,
settlement, right?
hmm.
We can hold the fee, right? It's for you to hold the fee within the WorldFirst account, within that WorldTrade, right?
Mm.
Like a middle stage, right? Then you have more stake. You have more stake to negotiate, to start up the negotiate, right? Maybe repricing, right? Maybe some deduction, right? Maybe they send extra piece of
Hmm.
a product for you to make up the quality of delivery you're expecting, right?
So
Then
interesting.
once you reach the agreement, you are able to release the fund in full, or you can choose to settle partially, right, based on the amount you have agreed.
Yeah, interesting, man. Sounds like it's very like what's the word for it? Fluid. It can change based on the situation, and the final goal is to get both of the parties fully agreeing to that, so then the money can be released, right? Even if there were some things that had to be fixed, like for example, this amount of units, we had like let's say we agreed on having 3% little defects on the units, and that was 5%. But then they say like, okay, sorry, we will fix those units, but also we'll deduct like 3% from the invoice cost or something just to make up for it. Are you happy? And we're like,
Yeah,
yeah, okay, no problem. That makes sense. Okay, happy, ta 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 ta. Check again, all
yeah.
good. Boom, release. Like, and
It is,
then,
it is, it is. Yeah,
Mhm.
because with this product in the middle, these provide you negotiation power when things
Mhm.
go wrong, right? When
Mhm.
things go wrong, right? Especially talking about a global trade, if you're dropping a big order into a new supplier, right?
Yeah,
Time to time, I will advise you to have this another layer of guarantee.
pretty awesome, man. Is there anything else we should cover about this product? I mean, seems like we went and covered it. Of course, again, I'll remind our viewer, please drop comments if you have any
Yeah, basically,
questions.
yeah, we have break down the logic and mechanism. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sounds like it.
Or
Yeah.
if you have questions, you're curious about the other aspect of this product, yeah, we are interacting more for e-commerce sellers. They typically
Yeah.
be the smaller players.
Yeah, yeah, of course. This is for big sellers, sound like, yeah.